So as part of our yesterday session, we are trying to understand a API implementation where it is involving the nested JSON objects as well as nested JSON arrays, or wherever it is involving multiple JSON, same one single JSON payload as a request body point of view, where it is involving JSON arrays, JSON nested object point of view, we are trying to understand. And we are almost completed with respect to controller layer, and we know how to prepare the. So yesterday we understood very clearly based on the requirement point of view. So what are the properties you have to identify first, and which property belongs to which data type, whether it is a single object or multiple objects, like that you have to identify from the requirement. From that, you have to prepare your Java classes. So how to prepare Java classes also, we understood yesterday step by step point of view based on the requirement point of view. So in Java, whenever it is group of objects or multiple objects, you have to consider as a list. If it is single object, with respect to JSON point of view, like one unit of data, then you can consider again as a separate class. Similarly, payment details, list of products information. Why list? Because we are going to get more products information. So like that, we created the Java class, and from that we generated the JSON payloads also manually, as well as by using Swagger also we can generate the JSON payloads. As a developer, you don't need to work on the JSON payload generation. It will automatically given by the Swagger, but we should have knowledge how to create JSON payloads, or how JSON payloads are going to be prepared for a Java class perspective, or how based on a JSON payload, how you are going to create the Java classes. These two knowledge, these two areas you should have a knowledge. Vice versa knowledge we should require. Okay. So after that, what we did? Yes, we implemented all the classes and we did everything. And finally, we saw the entire mapping is happening from client. Whenever client sending a request like this, by using this body, whenever client sending data like this, like product one and product two, and even if you have one more product also. So whenever client is sending data, like in the JSON payload. So this entire data is mapping to the respective Java object. So in this case, this Java object internally contains values, as well as internally again, it's consolidating all other classes based on the requirement point of view, list of product information request like that. So we created Pojo class and we given as a request body automatically the entire JSON mapping. So what happening in this story? So here, same thing. The JSON is converted to or mapped to Java object. So here, this is what happened. It's all convert that entire JSON payload mapped to Java object. JSON payload converted to Java object. JSON payload converted to Java object. So this is all we story, we know that, but only thing is we taken a complex example and we saw that. And before leaving, what we did is we tried to done same thing how we are going to make in the how we are going to insert into DB. So we completed all the things. What I did is after that I said right yesterday just add the cascade operations. So I just added the cascade operations. Yesterday we got cascade errors. So that's why I just we have to add just cascade errors. But we discussed about one to many, one to one point of view based on the requirement, and we just created the repositories for every entity class. For every entity class, we have total 4 entity classes. That means total 4 tables will be created. This information we discussed yesterday. This is the main table, and from that internally you are having product information point of view, one to many relationship you are having, one to many relationship. If you see here, one to many, and similarly payment details point of view, also one more table you are creating, and you are having one to one relationship with respect to order information. So this is the major table, this is the master table in this area, and these are all becoming okay foreign key constraint point of view, the child tables point of view. And we discussed this delivery table also. So let's execute this and let's see what's happening now. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so let me execute this program. Okay, so I'm not done anything newly after that. Only thing is I just added all cascade operations based on our JPA knowledge. So see, all the tables got created. Okay, all the tables got created. Now let's go and verify in the DB level tables are created or not. Schemas, Dilip, tables. Refresh it in case if you want to see latest. Yeah, if you see here, the tables are Amazon order detail table. So no data. Payment detail, no data. Product detail, no data. And then address detail, no data. So four tables just now created. And let's start inserting this data. So whatever the payload yesterday we utilized, same data I'm sending back. Now if you see here, you got what? Order placed successfully. And if you observe the console logs, what happened? Lot of insights happened with respect to each and every table point of view and relationship point of view. One to many point of view also. If you observe here, one to many point of view also, you got the data being inserted in address table level one record, payment level one record, order table level one record, product detail level two records. Product table level two records. Why? We are sending total two products, right? If you are sending 10 products at a time, let's do one thing. So now one more person sending the request, like something like Suresh, and his email ID I'm taking as a Suresh, and mobile number is something else, and total amount is some other value. And here the product information is 111 and something buying mobile, and its price is something like quantity is five mobiles, some specifications, and I'll give product ID as 444, and he's buying in this case something like mic or whatever it is, and price is just like 400 rupees, and he's buying 50 products, and it's all about there is no specification point of view. Okay, and then yeah, so you just one product, right? One in the array. Yeah, beautify point of view. What? So this is the array, and inside this this is the one of the object. Let's take one more product information. Total three products in this case. So he was buying one more product. ID is 555. He was buying something like mouse, and then price is 5,000 rupees, and he's buying only one item at a time. Okay, there is no specifications, and he's from PAS. So something like HSR layout something, and building name XYZ I'll keep. Flat number 222, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Karnataka. Okay. Some random pin code I'm giving. So paid amount, he was paying so and so amount, and order is success, as well as his transaction ID is something like this is the transaction ID got generated. So now I'm sending again one more request. See here, send. What happened? Order placed successfully. And if you observe the records again, what happened? Again, so your data mapping and everything is completed. Order table level one record, address level, yes, one address only we are collecting, only one payment. But if you see here, insert into address detail, payment detail, I mean product detail point of view, three records are happened. So address one record, payment one record, order one record, but products three records. Why three orders? Sorry, three products, not one. Three orders, three products. One is 11444, mobile, mic, and mouse. Total, Suresh is placed total three orders. That's why total three. Now, these are all data getting inserted into DB or not. Let's see here. Yeah, see here. You can see what? The data being inserted in the address table. First, Dilip from Hyderabad. And let's take first order table, main table. Refresh it. So what? How many orders came as of now? Two orders came. So one is order ID 1, 1, 2, and followed by Dilip, Suresh, and Dilip is placed all these orders, like total amount, what are the things and all. And what are the payment status for all the orders is, for the order ID, payment ID point of view, all these things are paid. And how many products are maintained? See here, total 6 products are being, I mean, 5 products, 3 from Suresh point of view, 2 from Dilip point of view. So it's all, see, small things you have to take care of it, like the foreign key relationship point of view, the joining column point of view. So if you see joining column, joining tables, you are already have it. All joining table, order ID point of view and product ID table point of view, one to many point of view. Dilip order ID is 1, right? So that is having these product IDs 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4 belongs to order ID 1. And order ID 2 point of view, these 3 products are ordered. So like that you are having again joining table. So it's all one to many relationship point of view. So this is all JPA knowledge what we discussed already. So ultimately what we completed right now is we converted JSON to Java, a complex example we taken, and nothing but internally we are making sure finally the data got inserted into DB also. The data got inserted into DB also. The data got inserted into DB also. So this is all the example I would like to take in the scenario. Now see here, I'll do something, but I'll load all products. What I will do, order, load all orders. So next REST service is load all orders. So that means what? How many orders are being placed so far? I want to load all orders at a time. So what I can take, guys? I can take get mapping. Why? It's all load operation. That means read operation. It's all just read operation. So that's why I can take slash all orders, something like that. The path is all orders and load all orders. So here request paramandal I'll explain later. Right now I will not explain anything. And what I have to do? So it's all orders. So that means simply call the service layer and ask the service layer load all orders. I want all orders like that. This method is not there in the service. So create this method in the service layer and here return type is okay. Return type we will decide later. Now after that what you will do, repository order repository dot find all. So that means what you will get all the orders from that from that table find all, and then what it will return find all list of order details. So list of order detail objects, all entity objects, all orders equal to. Now what you have to do? You have to do mapping from entity to response DTO classes. Usually this is the best practice. Like this, what we did earlier, request DTOs to entities while sending data to DB, but this time I got data from DB as an entity. That's why entity to response DTO classes mapping you have to do that, but I'm not doing it. You can do it on your own. I'm directly using entity itself as a return type also, but it's not a best practice. But I don't want to waste same time again and again for same thing. You just take care of it. So return all orders. So to do, you have to take care of it. Program will work even if I'm taking entities, but please take care of it. Entity to DTOs. It's a best practice always, but I am taking it. Okay, now let's go back to the controller. What happened? You will get always directly I am returning. And what is the return type of this? Return type list of entity objects I am taking. So now with this, what happened? The moment if I am calling this REST service, with get mapping all orders. So internal it will call service layer is calling repository layer is calling find all method. Find all method means select star from order detail table. It will go to this table, select star from image and underscore order details, and you will get all the information. In which response you will get, guys? Can you tell me in this case what is the response format you will get it back? So by default, what? JSON. You are not given any producers. Producers, if you are not given, means by default we will get JSON data format. By default JSON data format I will get it. So let's see now. Go to, I think tables got created freshly. What I will do is, okay, so I'll insert Suresh information once, and then again one more time. Okay, it's all about that unique constraint, primary key constraint point of view. Some, because you know that, right? Sometimes you have to make sure that. So that's why what I will do is Dilip point of view, one more order. So total two orders again. Even if you want, I can give some other person also. AB mobile number, total amount, product ID 333, product ID 44, two products. Or this person is placing only one product also. You can imagine like that. Yeah, only one. Alice is placing only one product, and he is placing from something like, New York or whatever it is. Okay, pin code and amount, so and so amount, something like. So let's see here. You got again one more order. So go to the table, refresh it. Total these many products being placed, and payment detail point of view. This is the total three members made the payment. And order detail point of view, total three members: Suresh, Dilip, Alice. And order state address point of view to total three addresses. Now let's trigger the next REST service. See, I given property as a drop, guys. That's why it is going the dead. Whenever I'm making the changes internal, it is restarting the application, right? So that's why tables are all getting deleted. It's better to do one thing. I'll comment this line. Now tables will be available as it is. Okay, let me start my application once again. Yeah, now I just disable this. So my data is existed as it is in the tables. Yeah, so all my data is existed. Now let's call the REST service newly what we implemented. All orders. So I'm calling service calling repository is making a call to DB is giving entity objects, and same entities again I'm returning back to the controller from service, and same again I'm converting as a, I'm just converting into JSON format before sending to the client. So let's trigger this URI one more time. New HTTP. So what is that? API slash all orders. All orders. And it is a get method. Okay, cool. So nothing else. Send it. Oh, it's not yet started. Please wait. Application not yet started. That's why you are getting. See, now you will see a big payload. But as a developer, you are not done anything. You are see, you written just one or two lines of REST service, But you will get, as a response, you will get a big payload, very big payload. So the moment you are keep on adding the orders, but everything internally converted into thousands of entity objects, and all are being automatically converted into JSON. And by the time you are seeing response, you will see very big payload. But coding is very one or two lines. So that's why what I'm trying to say here it is, by seeing this kind of heavy payloads, okay, this many length, 2000 lines, 10,000 lines, don't worry. It's very simple thing only. Why it is stucking here in the DB level itself? Okay, it started now. Okay, see here now. So started, right? So let's trigger the endpoint again. So observe here how many lines of JSON payload you got. See, with a small example itself, we got 116. Now one more person came into the picture. He placed the order, something like Bob, and like Bob, he's placed one more order. You are going to get this product ID issues. Yeah. So one more order. So one more person came. I mean, same Bob is placed one more order placed. So Dilip is came back and Dilip is ordered again one more product. Dilip is coming back and Dilip is placing again one more order today. And Dilip is making one more order, same mobile number but different amount, different product ID point of view. And I'm ordering laptop for the same address point of view, whatever it is. So you can see that means you're keep on getting the lot of orders. Now let me trigger what are the orders I have got it. Go to the new service again, all orders, send it. If you see here this time how much length JSON you got it. So this is the length of JSON you got it now. So almost 200 lines. So that means what I'm trying to say here it is, see, as a developer point of view, you don't need to afraid by seeing length of JSON payloads. It doesn't matter for us. So it's all list of objects being simply converted into JSONs, but ultimately concept is same. Order ID, email ID, full number, mobile number, products information, specifications point of view. So same thing you saw in the earlier Flipkart point of view also, like this. So things are very easy when you are making practice and all. You don't need to be afraid by seeing all these things. See, order ID one, array. So why array? You are returning list. List means with respect to Java array, sorry JSON array, and array of objects. Object one. Yeah, this is object one. I mean object one means order one. Second one is order three, and third one again starts from here. Order 54, order 56, like that. So this is all about, this is how you are going to get responses automatically. But we have to understand a lot of other point of view, like based on your order ID. So I want to see only based on order ID. These are all scenarios I'll explain later based on the order ID. So there are some standards available. So how to pass order ID? Oh, I'll give order. I want to see only order number 53 details or order number 54 information. I want only one order. If I give an order ID 54, then automatically I'll get or should get all these details. That for that I have to create a REST service. One more REST service based on the order ID. Here it is what all orders, but here it is based on one order ID. I want at a time only one order information. So this example I'll take later. So you're clear guys now what's happening with respect to request and response JSON formats. So with this, I'm stopping 100% explanation about JSON data formats with respect to request and response. I'm not going to take any examples with respect to JSON payloads. Like this is JSON array, this is JSON object. So this request is, I mean, JSON is converted into Java object in this way, or Java object converted into JSON in this way, or JSON arrays as list as JSON arrays. So these are all details I'm done. If you have any doubts, you can ask right now, or else we will move to the next point. So you just get familiar with JSON and Java point of view. So it's all very simple. You know the tricks, the things with respect to Java versus JSON point of view. If you remember the tricks, you can easily manipulate the things. Okay. So what I will do next is, so far what we did, guys, we know now we are good at creating a REST service. At least we know, not at least, we know how to create a REST service now. Creating a REST API, we have idea now. 50% knowledge we have almost, how to create a REST API and how it is working and all. And what I said, as a Spring Boot application point of view, okay, let's do one thing. Okay. So what I mentioned, when it comes to front end or any client application can call our REST services. Now our Spring Boot application is a producer application. Producer means what? We are implementing some REST services, and our REST services are being called by, consumed by some other application. So that's a producer. That means we are implemented a REST service. So now we know how to create the REST services. Fine. And now when it comes to the client application, what is a client application? It might be front end, it might be another Spring Boot application, it might be ReactJS application, it might be AngularJS application, it might be another Spring Boot application, it might be .NET application, it might be Python application, etc., 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 etc. Whatever the programming languages will support REST services concept, any application can call your REST service. Any application can call your REST service irrespective of programming language. So that means they are simply consuming those. That means consumer application point of view. So that your REST service will execute, and again you will give response in the, see, ultimately what you want, man. So as a Spring Boot application, ultimately what I want, if people are sending proper URL pattern and proper host name point of view and with respect to JSON body, I'll allow them like that. So now again you will produce response in the JSON format and you will give it to back. Now what I'm trying to say here, it is right now I'll show you React.js application, React.js application integration with the Spring Boot application. So a full-fledged front-end application from, okay, a full stack application in simple point of view, React.js application. So that means a single flow I'll show, guys. Okay, a single flow I'll show you when we implemented REST services, how that is being integrated at front-end level. I'll show you a single flow. So that means in this case, it's a React separate application. Spring Boot is a separate application. So it's now what I'm showing is right now React.js front end point of view. Assume you are working for some application and React.js is the front end and back end is Spring Boot point of view. So let's see this integration now. So from React.js front end application and as well as back end application. So in this case, you will have database and everything. Back end point of view, you have DB also. DB. Okay, so what is the scenario? Again, I'm showing in this case is user sign up. So that means front end level, I'll display first name, email ID, mobile number, password, maybe some other column like that. So now user will click on sign up. User will click on sign up. User will click on sign up. So this entire functionality being implemented in React. Okay, assume like that. So name, email, password, mobile, and some message, something, whatever it is, like that. Okay. So now what will happen as per our as per our understanding from the REST API point of view? First of all, Spring Boot developer, just mostly people will develop APIs first, guys. Okay. Most of the times people will develop APIs first. That means APIs where we will implement APIs backend level. So that means as a Spring Boot developer point of view or as a full stack developer point of view, you have to create a REST service. One REST service for user sign up. Okay. And user sign up point of view. So now you know very clearly what is a user sign up, and we taken already examples, 2, 3 examples. For example, I said properties like name, email, password, and then followed by mobile number, etc., etc. You have some properties. By taking these properties, what you have to do is you have to create a REST service. That means in this case, request payload should be in the JSON format, and response I'll give in a string like user created successfully, something like that. If created successfully, if not created, that means already user email id is already existed, then I'll give like email id is already existed, like that. And same thing should be displayed it, user already existed, like that. We implemented this REST service, guys. We implemented this REST service long back itself. Last week itself we implemented user sign up operation, right? Open this project. Yeah, so this is what sign up. Same thing, right? We are already done that. We That's what I'm telling you. We know how to create the REST service: first name, last name, email ID, mobile number, password, all this. So we know how to create the REST services. We taken with respect to all these details, right? So that means we created. So in this case, we have a knowledge of how to implement this REST services. Save it, order controller. Okay, fine, no problem. Stop this one also. Okay. So that means we know how to create this REST service. I don't want to teach you again what is a REST service and all. Now the overall portion here it is how this REST service, whatever we are implemented as a step number one point of view, whatever the REST service we implemented here, how this is being called or integrated from the React application. So how this is integrated from the front end application point of view, we need to get a overview. We are using only Postman every day. Generally Postman only we will use because we can't implement front end immediately, right? That's why. Now I will show you front end point of view, how this is being integrated, the REST service. So now in this case, I am not writing the logic again. I'll show you some existing code. Here 100% is what you have, everything you know that. See here, what is this? See, leave this line. I will tell you this line what it is. Apart from this line, what you know that, guys? You know this one, auto-wire sign up operation, integrated service layer. And what are the parameters you taken? First name, last name, right? So you taken first name, last name, password, mail ID, phone number, address, pin code. And this entire data being inserted into DB also. Entity class I created. Okay, so yeah, so this is all just an entity class. So just unique constraint means just they are giving composite unique constraint point of view. Leave it. Simple. This and all you know that generated ID, identity, value, user ID, value point of view and all. So this is the example I created for showing as a demo in every class, guys. Because I can't implement immediately a React application. First of all, I don't know what is a React JS also. Okay, so this is the REST service, but this we know that very well. Simple, it's a DTO class. Sometimes DTO classes will be called as model classes. People, different terminology. But ultimately, what in the controller level, what you use model class. Model is nothing but DTO also. So DTO also. If you want, I can convert it as a DTO also. Whatever it is, request class, model class, DTO class, whatever it is. So service layer, repository layer, controller point of view, I have a REST service. Even I don't think this is being mm, web. Okay, it's not being integrated with the Swagger. If you want, we can integrate Swagger also. Okay, let's do one thing. See how things will happen in real time. I'm showing you. Okay, now this is the backend application. Assume I'm implementing one of the flow called a sign up flow. Form.xml dependency. I'm adding Swagger also so that I can see. Okay, so this is the sign up form. Let me implement this REST service. Let's start this application, backend application. So run as Spring Boot application. So it is, I taken port number 9966 guys. If you go to the properties file, 9966 is the port and I given IL my DB credentials. If you want, you can give context path also, but anyway. It's not yet started. I'm just waiting internally. It is just evaluating the things because I give an update. I think I'll do one thing. I'll stop it. I'll create table also freshly. Okay, see table got created. Sign up user DB table point of view. Go to the table. Okay, so refresh. There is no data. Just table freshly created. Now let's open the Swagger UI for this. See, whatever the approach we taken as of now, first let's take that. One thing is we can test via Swagger. So here it is 9966, I think. 9966. Localhost 9966. Why Swagger? Okay, there is no context path, I think. See, there is no context path. Okay, so let's remove the context part API. So yes, you got the Swagger. So if you see here, you sign up controller and I can test it here. So it is supporting only JSON data. This is the JSON payload. Try it out. And from here, I'm giving data Dilip, Singh, and last name is again something like B. And then I given password something like Dilip 1111. And then mail ID Dilip @gmail.com. I'm testing my REST service. Okay, whether it is working or not. Then everything is good. Then how it is being integrated from the front end layer point of view, we'll see that. So I given some mobile number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times I given 8 intentionally. So I'll give like Hyderabad is the address and pin code number is 5,72 something. I given like this. Now execute it. What happened? 200 user registered successfully. So user registered successfully. The response is what guys? User registered successfully. See the status codes and all I'll explain later. 200, what is 200, 201. Actually in this case 201 we have to use. But what is the status code and all I'll explain later. Leave it. First of all in general we got the message. Now go to the DB. Yes, user inserted. If you observe here, Dilip information is inserted. Now if I am trying again same person information with same email ID, what you got? 500. So that means some issue is there. What is the some issue? Unique constraint issue. Unique constraint issue. If you go to the entity class, you defined user ID as a point of view. It's all unique constraint. Unique constraint means duplicate values not allowed. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll give email ID something like Dilip123@gmail.com and let's send it, execute. Now what happened again? User registered successfully. So that means in this case what we made, email ID as a unique constraint point of view in general. Okay, so that means we saw this behavior. Now let's take same thing into Postman also. New HTTP and then get post request. I think it is. Yeah, it is post request. Body raw JSON and this is the payload. And this is the payload. And then what is the URL? Yeah, from here I can get the full URL. This is the URL. So that means from here again, if I'm sending something like Suresh and XYZ person, something like Suresh 111 and then Suresh 123 is the email ID and so on so mobile number. So from so on so location, so on so pin code like that. Okay, let's see here now. So user registered successfully. So that means with this, what I can say, my REST API implementation from the backend perspective, everything is good. So I created my REST service, implementation completed, as well as testing is also completed. Testing completed and everything is working. Everything is working in when new email ID is given, it's good. As well as same email ID is given. Instead of creating the account, we are saying like it's not possible, something like that. We are giving a error message also. So that means everything is good. Now, what is the next step? Step number two, integrating from the front end. Now, while you're integrating from the front end, what you will inform to the front end team is, hey, front end, just take care of, okay, just take care of what it is. You will inform all, you will give all this information. Like you will say like, take this request payload as a, I mean, you simply will give JSON only, oh, sorry, Swagger API documentation. Now, what front end developers will do is, they will utilize your Swagger documents. They will understand, okay, this is the endpoint I have to integrate from my front end point of view, and this is the payload I have to prepare, and these are the JSON properties I have to send always. Like that, front end developers point of view or a full stack developer point of view, they will have knowledge. They will use this JSON property names as it is, and they have to integrate this API always. This API always. And it is which method? Post method. And which format they have to send? JSON format. So by seeing this document, the client application members knows that post request for this URI path and request body should be in the JSON format. And these are the JSON properties I have to send always. Like that, they have knowledge. Now I'm opening the React application. So you see here. See, I don't know ReactJS, guys. One of the previous batch student only given me this example. I asked him, "Can you give me a end-to-end application development point of view?" He only created this sign-up form point of view, as well as he only created this front-end application also, because he's a full stack learning point of view. So he learned the full stack React point of view. So I asked him, he given this example. Okay. So, but I will just show you how things are integrated point of view. Even I am also not that much familiar with this, but anyway, we'll try to understand at least. CSS, no. JS, yeah. If you see here, understand the point here. What is this, guys? URL. What is this URL? Our backend point of view, our service URL or not? Same URL, right? So that means today, in place of Postman, what we are doing, we are directly using a front end application itself. They are calling this REST service. They are calling this REST service localhost 9966. They are calling this REST service. And after that, what do they have to send? Post request. So they are configuring, see, they are configuring something from the front end and they have to send request always post. Okay, they take an URL and where they are sending the post, see here. Go to here. If you see here what URL, this is the URL. Post method. So front end point of view, what they are sending? Post. If they are sending get, what will happen? It's a wrong. So that means they will get something like method not allowed. So that means how do they know that post? Because we given the information in the Swagger point of view, we are telling like, hey man, call only via post. That's why this guy also did what? Oh, okay, let me take post and URL also. And what is the content type they are sending? Application slash JSON. Yes, my REST service is also expecting what? JSON only. In this case, this API is also expecting JSON. So that's why JSON post as well as he given full URL also from the front end point of view. Now after that payload. So payload point of view, if you see here, this is the payload. That's why I introduced a word called as payload. People will use payload. Payload is the terminology. So what is the payload? First name, last name, password, mail ID. If you observe here, first name, last name, password, email ID, this property names in this case, first one, second one, exactly similar to this one only. First name, last name, password, mail ID, phone number, address, and everything. So that means as a React developer, he knows that. Okay, he knows with respect to front end development point of view, the moment we enter data into front end level, they will collect all that information as a payload and they are attaching to the JSON payload in this property level. Dilip Singh, Dilip123, Dilip at the rate gmail.com, 12345, address Hyderabad, pin code 572, like that. Automatically, the values will be replaced in this position in the right hand side. But left hand side point of view, these are all JSON properties. And which property? JSON. So that means finally what will happen? This payload, if in the front end level, the moment I entered Dilip, email, all these things, automatically those values will be okay replaced in this position. Automatically those values will be replaced here. Dilip, Singh and Dilip123, Dilip at the gmail.com, 12345 Hyderabad pin code, like that. All the values will be replaced here. And finally, they are sending JSON data. This entire thing is they are sending as JSON and they are sending as post and they are sending to our URL, which is where our API is running on the 9966 port number or Spring Boot application. See, this is how they will integrate. And after that, based on the response, once everything is executed, see body, request body. They are sending what guys? Payload. They are sending payload. Which payload? This payload. So they are sending as a request body. So now the request will reach to backend application. Now backend application execute all the REST service and it is giving response. So when it given response, if status code is 200, success. 500 means error. So what is 200? What is 500? We will understand later. So on successful scenario, success. On error scenario, error. Like that, they return their own logic to display in the red colors, green colors. We will see, right? Everything is goes good, green color. If something error is there in the red color point of view, they return this logic. So you understood now how API integration is happening from the front end. So it's a, let me show you the thing also. So if you want this application, I'll give you the link. From there you can download, guys. And see what happened. If you see here now, ReactJS application running on in my computer on port number called as 3000. So if you go here now, one small thing you have to do here it is. So what you observed here, cross origin localhost 3000. So that means what you are trying to say in this case is, if you see the cross origin, annotation permitting cross origin request on a specific handler classes or handler methods, process define handler mapping is configured. So that means what it is trying to say is cross origin means, see actually our application running on which port number, guys? Our application is running on 9966 port number. So it's running on 9966 port number. It's running on 9966 port number. But request coming from another application called as localhost 3000 from the ReactJS application. So simple. You will give just from where your React application is running on, which port number, that information you will give here as a cross origin. So that means you are, as a Spring Boot application, it is accepting request from the this application. If you are not given this cross origin, then request will not be handled. So like that you have to give this annotation. Simple. So your React port number, your React application is running in your local computer, right? Just give that so that it will start allowing React.js request into this application, this controller level like that. Okay, let's do one thing. See, my backend application is up and running. My backend is up and running still. Now I started my front end application also. I started my front end application also, and it is running on what? This port number, localhost 3000. Automatically, home page is open. Now let's see here. I'm entering Dilip and followed by Singh and password Dilip123 and email ID dilip@gmail.com. And then mobile number I'm giving like something like this, and address point of view I given again Hyderabad, and I've given pin code point of view some pin code. Now I'm clicking, the moment I clicked on sign up, what will happen? Immediately this logic will be executed in the React application. Which logic? This logic. Handle submit. So that's what. The moment we are clicking on submit, what will happen? This form data, first name, all this data, see, they are reading data from the form data, first name, last name. So that means all this data being converted into this payload. So here you taken right first name, last name, last name. So all is converted into payload, and that payload is sending as a JSON with HTTP method post for this URL. So this entire logic will be executed the moment you clicked on the submit button. The moment you clicked on submit button, this logic will be executed, and finally the request will come to our backend application. And now the request will landed here. The request will land here, and it will start internally executing service layer, and it will verify user is already existed or not. If not, if existed, you can elaborate that logic. Find by ID, that logic we know that, right? So already email ID is existed, then you can give a meaningful message like something like that. You can elaborate it. Now let's see the call coming to the backend or not. Sign up. What happened? Signed up successfully. You are signed up successfully. Now I am clicking with same user. Why? Failed to sign up. Why? The email ID is duplicate email ID, right? Now if I given again Dilip1111 something, and I'm clicking on sign up, signed up successfully. So that means, see, they are displaying in the green color, they are displaying in the red color when your something is bad. Okay, failed to sign up. I mean, you can provide the reason also. Like, what is the reason and all. So this is how the front end integration will happen from the back end. See, now all the things are happening with the back end point of view. Our logic is executing in the back end point of view. Unique constraint because same email ID. Now let's Suresh, I mean some other person, ABC person, and his email ID is abc@gmail.com, and so on so mobile number, so on so point of view, signed up successfully. So what happened now? A React.js application is integrated with the Spring Boot application. This is your full stack application. Now it is data being inserted into DB also. This is what a full stack application, guys. This is how things will happen. So that means as if now what is the scenario you have to understand here? It is, if you are a full stack developer, you should know how to implement REST service, how to consume REST service from the React point of view. If you are a React developer, or if you are Angular developer, from the Angular perspective, you should know that. Okay. And if you are a backend developer, you should know until this area, but you should be very clear. First of all, while implementing the REST services, with all use cases, it is working or not, everything, as a backend developer, we will utilize always this Postman tool to test our REST services, because we don't know how to implement the front end point of view, right? We will it, and we will share information with the front end developer. Now, if you are the only front end developer, you don't know back end developer, then you should be very much familiar in this case by seeing this document, by seeing this information. So you don't know Java logic, you can't understand anything. Simply you will come back here, you will take this screen and you will understand, oh okay, let me integrate front end point of view, this API of backend, let me send post request, let me send this payload, let me send JSON like that. You will have knowledge. But if you are a full stack developer means vice versa point of view, you should know back and forth point of view. If you are having REST service, how to implement from the front end, or once you implemented front end, based on that, how to implement the REST API, all the knowledge you should know. So that is how things will happen in a full stack developer life or full stack application point of view or individual developer point of view. So you are clear now how front end point of view people are integrating the API services. Now, after some time, what I will do is I'll show you one more thing also, guys. Not now, after some classes, I will show you one Spring Boot application is communicating with another Spring Boot application. So that means, yes, it's a Spring Boot application. This is also a Spring Boot application. Yes, I will show that. So that means same REST service can be called by any other applications. I said, right? Whether it is a React or Angular, whatever it is. I'm going to show you one Spring Boot application communicating with another Spring Boot application, but not now, after some time. After some time. How to do that? In between one service to another service communication, only Java versus Java. In this case, React versus Java or React versus Spring Boot, whatever it is. See, it doesn't matter, guys. See, now for example, this document I given to someone else. If I'm asking the person this API implemented in which programming language, he don't know that. He can't guess it. For example, assume if I given this screenshot to you and I said, yeah, if I given this screenshot to you and I said, please call this REST service so that you can sign up with my application. Like that, I given this screenshot to you. Now, can you guess and imagine in which programming language this REST service is implemented? You don't know because it is same thing we can do in the Python, .NET, all other programming languages also. You don't know what is. Simply, it's a JSON payload, it's a URL, it's a HTTP method. Like that, that's all you need. Like that. So you're understanding now how things are happening in the front end at least. How to do conversion of JSON to Java without third-party libraries. What is this? How to do conversion of JSON to Java. How to do conversion of JSON to Java without third-party libraries. Then you have to write lot of logic, Venkatesh. It's possible. Only thing is, yeah, I got it. See, if you don't want to use C, for example, the thing is one thing I'll ask you one question. See, you're the human, okay? So you know some work. You know some work. And you have some task to do that. And if you don't want to do, if you don't want to take someone else help who is really proficient or who is going to complete the task within one day or within 1 month, you don't want to allow them and you want to do it. How much time it will take? 1 year it will take. But if you are allowing someone else who is already experts or some products you are allowing it will take what? Within one day you can complete it. See, if you are not using third party libraries means as a developer, you have to write your logic. That's all. Simple thing. You are saying like JSON to Java point of view, I don't want to use Jackson. So I don't want to use third party called as Jackson. If you don't want to use Jackson, okay, then what you have to do? Then write your own logic. Identify the solutions, how to read JSON. So you have to write your own logic. Then that it will take 1 year, 1 month it will take to write that logic. So that means to convert from Java to JSON, JSON to Java point of view, if you started your own logic, it will take extra 1 month. You can do that. See, everything is possible. If you don't want to take Jackson, what will happen? For that, we have to write our own logic how to convert from Java to JSON, JSON to Java. As a developer, we have to spend time on that. So the actual requirement is going inside and you are concentrating on conversion. Client will not wait for you. So client will say, hey man, go to the existing. That is how things will happen. You can write, but it's up to based on your project time. You have to write your own logic. Without third party libraries means you have to write your pure core Java logic, like the moment you got string, and then you have to write your own HTTP message converters. Lot of story. It will take minimum 2-3 months. Why? To write your own converter. So that means simply I can say like we have to write our own converter. Okay. So we have to write our own converter. Then how much time it will take? I can say frankly, I'm saying like maybe assume it is taking 1 month. So it's up to your choice. If you want to ready to waste 1 month of your time and you are ready to pay salaries for the employees for 1 month for only identifying the converter, it's up to your wish. So if you are ready to give me 2 lakh salary per month, I will write my own converter. Instead of taking third party, I will write our own party. That's all. Simple thing. Okay. That's all. See, an array list. Why array list came into the picture? The drawbacks are there in the array. What are the drawbacks? Size problem. So that means once you defined array size 10, you can't increase the size. But array list point of view, you are not defining the size, but internally size is incremented. But array list internally using what? Array only. So that means can we create our own array list? Can we create our own array list? Yes, we can do that. Dilip list. Yes, I can create. But how much time it will take? Like similar to array list point of view, I need to take minimum 1 week time. For what? A replica of array list to create Dilip list, 1 week it will take time. So that means to add some more than I whenever I want to eliminate this array problems, if I started my own solution, I'm wasting unnecessarily time. So that is how everything is possible in this world. So even this third party convert, they are also written logic only. They are also written logic and all. Same thing if you want to implement, it will take 1 month time. So that's why people will utilize the time. Utilize the libraries where it will reduce number of lines of logic as well as it will save lot of time. Lot of time like that. See, simple abstraction. So that's what. Okay. Now anyway, come back to the front end point of view. So are you clear with front end point of view how things are happening in the front end? So if you are a React developer, you should know how to integrate from the React point of view. React point of view, React developer, Angular logic they will write. But ultimately concept is they also need Angular, this URL, this payload, post method, content type, body, trigger the request. It will come back to our backend application. Is the data inserted into DB from browser? Venkatesh, please concentrate here. Okay. So see, I given very clear picture diagram also. The data coming from React application to our Spring Boot application. In Spring Boot application, what is the first contact? Controller. I can't give the diagrams again and again. Okay. I can't give the entire flow. See what you know that controller layer. So from the controller, service layer, service to repository, repository to DB. These layers are crossed. I shown you the code also, right? How it will come directly from the browser to database? It will not. See, from the browser, the moment you clicked on the sign up, a HTTP request will be triggered and it will come back to our Spring Boot application. In Spring Boot application means it will come here to which class? Controller class first. And from controller, you are passing same data to service. From service, you are passing same data to repo. Repo is nothing but DB. DB. And in this table, which table? This sign up user table. Which is implemented in React. Yeah, the data inserted into DB. That's what I will show you. Oh, okay. So you want to see the data? See, this is what all this information. Dilip ABC, Dilip 111, Dilip. This is all I inserted from front end only. If you want, I can give your name also. Venkatesh. sign up, signed up successfully. Let's go back to the DB. So you can see our data, Venki. So that means the data came from front end to back end point of view, controller to service, service to repo, repos to like that. Now again, if I given same Venkatesh information, same information again, it will fail. Why? Because email ID we made it as a constraint. Duplicate email ID. We are not allowing duplicate IDs. So that's why fail to sign up. Go and verify. Venkatesh is inserted one more time. No. Only one Venki is available. I mean, with respect to email ID point of view, only one Venki email is available. But the validation is happened at backend level. If you see here, constraint issue, you got it. Unique constraint. Why? Venki is already there. So if you click on sign up again, so failed to sign up, the reason is you got an error like unique constraint. Okay, so this is how the front end integration will happen from to our backend applications via REST APIs. Now, if you are interested, you can implement sign up flows, all these flows and all sign up, set operations, all these things point of view. So why I taken this example today is the React integration from the uh, React integration with our Spring Boot application is. So I would like to avoid your confusion how things will happen in the front end when we are making everything in the backend and by using Postman point of view, the testing and all we are doing from the Postman. Now same thing if it is being implemented from the front end, how things will looks like or how confident. I mean, to avoid that confusion, I taken this example. I think now you are clear. Yeah, I'll give you this detail, Venkatesh. Okay, so I'll upload. I will not upload. It's already there. So what you can do is from here you can download this. Yeah, this one. So if anyone wants, even it is having backend as well as front end, both it is having React project as well as sign up form. So you can download directly from here. It is a open. I think I made it as a open only, not private repository. So let me verify anyway before giving it to you. Yeah, so you can directly access this URL. You can directly download it. Are you okay? So this is available here. Sign up form on React. So from here you can download. So simply go to my GitHub profile, Dilip IT Academy. There you will find out Spring Boot React integration. From there you can download backend as well as front end. Both you can download. Okay. So what I'm doing is, yeah, this is all about the way your front end integration will happen to backend via REST APIs implementation. Okay, so before closing to the session, let's move to a next topic, and it's a very small topic, so that we can see next top. I mean, we'll see tomorrow a new topic also. Okay, so with this, I'm done with exactly how things will happen with JSON data, JSON payloads, JSON arrays, JSON nested objects, JSON objects versus Java objects, Java objects versus JSON objects. And we taken an example from React point of view how things are integrated. A REST API integration happened from front end to back end point of view also. I shown you an example. Okay, so now onwards there is no explanation about what is Java, JSON, Java versus JSON and all. There is no explanation. So we have to complete a lot of other topics in the same REST APIs itself. Okay, so let's come back. It's a very simple thing. Let me close all these things. Mhm. Okay, so I'm closing my React application also. Okay, so let's see here. What is the topic? Here it is. Okay, so I'll take same sign up controller only. Yeah. So I'm taking existing application only. So from this, now forget about the React integration and all, just consider as a Spring Boot application only. Okay, let me remove this one also. So you will get more clarity. Okay. So what is my point here? It is, if you observe here, this request class, what I given first name, last name, password, mail ID, phone number, address, pin code. That's fine. So when we prepared JSON payload also, what we are doing, we taken same request body properties level, first name, last name, password, mail ID, as it is into JSON payload, right? So as it is into, this is the JSON payload we created, or we, based on this, we created sign up class, whatever it is, both are same. This is the Java versus JSON point of view. So this is the Java versus JSON point of view data we are having. Now my point here it is, okay, if you observe here, first name, last name, password, mail ID, phone number, address, pin code, as it is you are having. So for example, sometimes assume like this. You got a JSON first, and based on the JSON only you have to create the Java. Sometimes the requirement is demanding like, my manager, okay, or I given to you like this, hey man, I please create a REST service for user sign up by following this payload. By following this payload structure. What it is I given like this dummy payload, and I given like first underscore name, last underscore name, password, mail ID, phone underscore name, number, address, pin code. So like this, I given a sample payload to you, JSON payload. I given a JSON payload like this to you. Now I said exactly by following this JSON payload only, you have to create your REST service. REST service. To store all this information, so the client will send a JSON payload always in this format, and you have to create a REST service to accept this data. To accept this data. So that means in a REST service point of view, in a controller point of view, when it comes to request body, it's all comes up with respect to request body, right? So what is the point? What is the thing I said earlier? Exactly, please make sure same property names, JSON property names in the Java Pojo class point of view. So that means private, assume you are writing a class like this, public class sign up request, whatever it is, sign up request, sign up request. Now, the moment you take in sign up request, what I said earlier, you have to follow exact JSON payload syntax, property names. So that means private string first underscore name, first underscore name. Similarly, okay, so you taken your property names like this. First one is first name, and second one is last underscore name, and next password, okay, and then followed by mail ID, mail ID, and then phone underscore number. Okay, cool. And then address. Okay, so then followed by pin code. Okay, cool. But okay, this is exactly you written Java class, and that's okay. Okay, let's do one thing. What I will do is I'm changing same thing like in this format. First underscore name, last underscore name. and then password, mail ID, phone underscore number, address, pin code. Okay, let's generate all setter getter method freshly again. Source generate setter getters. See, if you are taking Lombok, you have to generate manually. These are all. That is the advantage of Lombok. When you change the property names, we deleted existing getters and setters when you don't have Lombok. But if you have Lombok, automatically internally it will take based on the names what you taken. Okay, let's leave it. Okay. So now you given same at service layer point of view, some small issues you will get. What it is uh, get first underscore name. Get last underscore name. Get last phone underscore number. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So now this is your REST service. This is your REST service. Now let's execute this. Let's start our application again. Sign up form. I'm starting my application. Okay, so table got created again. Okay, fine, no problem. So now if I'm sending same request again, what's happening? See here, you're getting internal server error. Why? What is the problem, guys? The JSON payload is the problem. Why? In this case, the JSON payload we decided as So in this case, what is the problem? JSON payload point of view we decided as first underscore name, last underscore name, phone underscore number. But and based on that you written Java class also. So that means now my JSON payload point of view, I am changing first underscore name, last underscore name, and phone underscore number. Phone underscore number. So exactly same I taken and I'm sending the request. This time data got inserted. Okay. So that means what happened? Successfully your REST API is working. Because why? You taken exactly same as it is based on the JSON payload point of view, especially these three properties point of view. First name, last name, phone number point of view. You taken in the Java also same, exactly same. If you are mismatching, like now let's see here what I will do. Go to model class again. If I given again first name here, okay, I remove the underscore. So generate setter getters for only first name point of view because I removed the underscore. Save it and come back here. Remove the underscore first name. Okay. Now let's trigger the request one more time. So let's start the application one more time. It is not added dev tools. So now what will happen? See here. So from the JSON payload, you are sending underscore. In the Java level, there is no underscore and it is simply camel case. But what's happening? Let's see here. Okay, table got created again. Okay, cool. Send the data. Now what happened again error? So that means what is the problem you observed here? In this overall scenario, what you observe? If you are making, so what you observe guys in this overall scenario is, if there is any difference between JSON property name and request body property name, request body class property name is mismatching, okay, it considering request as a invalid request, something like that. So invalid JSON property or something, finally you're getting an error. So that is what you observe. So if you given the moment 100% is exactly same, it started working. If you given here removed underscore and you are sending here underscore, then it is not working like that. So, but my requirement point of view, I don't want to touch JSON. JSON should be as it is similar only. So then Java point of view, you have to write like this. But sometimes you know that, right? In Java, see, it's a JSON point of view. Okay, cool. But in Java point of view, why I should follow same approach? Because in Java, when I'm defining the variables, I have to first follow camel case. My Java point of view, my standard is what? Java standards are what? Define variables in the variable names in camel case format. That means Java language not recommending variables with underscores. So Java language point of view, Java standards point of view, we should not use we should not use underscores in variables. Underscores in variables. So that means in this case, if you written okay program work, but I don't want to write that. I want to make sure first name like this only. What I have to do. So in Java perspective, I would like to make as it is first name only. And JSON point of view, first underscore name is first underscore name only. Then how can I make relationship between these two like, okay, so in JSON point of view, JSON only, Java point of view, Java point of view only. But I have to say that, okay, this is same like that. I have to make a relationship between these two properties. How we are going to do that? Yeah. So in this case, what Jackson framework is saying is, give me a second. Whenever you found whenever you found, okay, a discrepancy or a mismatch between JSON property and Java property name, you have to utilize an annotation called as @JSON property. @JSON property annotation. JSON property annotation. So see here, what is the JSON property annotation? How I'm using it. Now come back here. So I'm going back to my Java standards point of view only. Camel case, all are camel case. Okay, cool. And then again here also, based on my Java application point of view, I have everything camel. But the problem is what in this case, the real JSON property in this case is first underscore name. JSON point of view. In this case, last underscore name. So JSON is saying JSON point of view, there should not be any change. That property should be always underscore only. And Java point of view, you have to make sure camel case only. Then how can you achieve like in this two, okay, accepting data as a valid data point of view, how to do that is, here what you have to do is, you are using one extra annotation on the variable called as JSON property. So from faster XML Jackson API point of view, you are using an annotation called as JSON property, and here you will give this name. That's all. That's all. So that means what happened, guys, now in this case, I given again in this case also last name. It's common sense. I just last name. So do I need to give password again? For password also, do I need to give? JSON property, Java property, both are same. In such cases, you may give, you may not give. There is no impact on that. Because in this case, what is the point? If you observe here, only three properties are something different. Only three properties point of view are having some issue. Some issue means some differentiation. But after that, remaining properties point of view, you don't have any issue. That means don't have any issue means property names are exactly same in Java as well as JSON. So for that, you don't need to use JSON. Where you found mismatch. So here I am using phone number point of view, phone underscore number, phone underscore number. That's all. Work is done. So now what will happen? The moment you are sending the request, what will happen here it is from the JSON point of view. Whenever you send request like this, yeah. Now, This is the data. And in the controller, in the, sorry, Java class point of view, what you return this time, this is what you return. Yeah. So the moment you are sending a request like this, what will internally the Jackson converter? I said, right? Internally, who will take care of all this? Jackson converter. What Jackson converter is doing is simply it is taking this property name, first name, right? It is taking the property name called as first name and taking the value Suresh, and it is coming and checking here. This time you given first name here. So, okay, let's move Suresh value into this variable called as first name. So now in the first name variable level, in the Java point of view, the variable name is first name only. First name in the camel case equal to Suresh. Welcome. So in earlier case, what happened? The moment you don't have JSON property, what it is doing is, it is taking this property, first name, and it is checking in the request body class level. With this name, is there any JSON property? Not, 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 no, 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 not found. So then it is saying like error. It is saying like invalid JSON property. This property is missing like that. You are getting an error because it's not there. So that is how internal check is happening. Okay. Now similarly, second point of view, last name, last underscore name. So variable point of it is last name only, but you given, okay, JSON property annotation. So then it is considering, okay, okay, for this JSON property matching. So let's move in the last name variable point of view, last name equal to something XYZ. XYZ. Now again, what will happen? Password, password, exactly matching. So now password equal to Suresh 111. Mail ID, mail ID, exactly matching. Okay, move the value. Phone underscore number, but phone number. But you give an annotation phone underscore number. Oh, okay, let's phone underscore number. So let's phone number equal to so and so number. So just you are utilizing this JSON property. Now let's execute the program one more time. You just use the JSON property. See, this scenarios will also come. Send the request. Now what happened? Data inserted. That means you sent underscores only from the JSON. But Java point of view, you satisfied your Java rules also, but you utilized mediator annotation JSON, and based on that, all the data is mapped. See here, all the data being inserted or not. I'll show you. Refresh it. See, Suresh, all the data is inserted. First name, last name, all mapping is happened. You got my point? Now, for example, one more scenario I'll ask. One more thing I'll ask in this case itself. So they're given mail, guys, mail. But in Java point of view, I want to use it as a email ID. So in Java point of view, I don't want to use mail ID. They given as what JSON point of view, mail, only mail. Okay, but in my point of view, I want to use it as a email ID. What I have to do now? So in this case, JSON point of view, this data should match to this value, this property. But here it is a mail in the JSON, but in Java point of view, it is a email ID. What I have to do? Use the JSON. See, if there is a small difference, irrespective of underscores, case sensitive point of view, just use the JSON property, safe side. That's all. JSON property. What is the real JSON property name? Mail. Mail. So you just copy mail here. That's all done. Okay, let's change this setter getters also based on the email IDs. Generate. See, this is what the advantage of Lombok. Otherwise, every time there is a small change, you have to generate manually. Okay, now email ID point of view, email ID, and you change it here also, get email ID. So now sign up request level, you have email ID, property name, but actual JSON property is mail. So that's all. Your application will work again. Send the request. See, your application is working. So that means what JSON property is saying, guys, in this case, see the thing. So marker annotation, just so this is the thing it is. So just marking that, use it to define a non-static method as a, so leave it, get a local a non-static, it doesn't matter for us. Yeah, indicates that the value what you defined inside the JSON property level, the value, whatever you define indicates that the name of the field, okay, is to be used as the property name without any modifications. Property name refers to the name used externally as the property name. So that's all simple, JSON objects level, as opposed to internal field in Java object. That's all. This is the statement only we like that. So then you have to take help of JSON property. It's a very small annotation and very simple. Whenever there is a mismatch between JSON property versus Java property, use JSON annotation, and inside this what property you have to give the value JSON property name as a mediator annotation point of view. So you are clear now with this JSON property annotation. What is a JSON property annotation? And this comes from the faster XML only, Jackson API only, third party library. Okay, so with this I am done with this topic also. Tomorrow we will see what is the next topic and all I will discuss tomorrow. And we will see, I think probably we will start remaining three operations. As of now, we completed only create post operation, right? But we have to understand read operations as well as delete operations as well as update operations also. So as per REST API standards point of view, so how to do the read operations, how to do the update operations, how to do the delete operations as a REST API standards point of view, what are the standards we have to follow, and all we'll start understanding from tomorrow.